You're being robbed of your birthright as an American. That is a fact. And the thief is your federal government in Washington, D.C., and its insidious tentacles that reach into the fabric of this entire nation. I'm going to do my very best to educate you today on a brand new threat that slipped past me, but it's a threat to farming and ranching, hunting, fishing, family time, recreation, and yes, the American way of life. Brought to my attention this past week by one of our incredible listeners here, and I thank you for that. Some background. I lived in Montana for a number of years in the late 80s and early 90s while going to college at Montana State in Bozeman. I absolutely loved it. I was raised hunting and fishing and had first seen Big Sky Country back in 1977 while on a family vacation, a trip that changed me forever, and in a very good way, frankly. I've since that time had a tremendous appreciation for the western states and have had the great joy of walking the breathtaking landscapes of not only Montana, but Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, and New Mexico. And yes, plenty of time in the greatest frontier still remaining, that being Alaska. During my college days, I was very aware of the original BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, which controls more than 10% of our nation's land. Think about that. It's really a jaw-dropping amount of land, and it is primarily in the states I just mentioned, the western states. And it's all being targeted for removal from being used for anything. Seriously, anything. Today I'm also here to tell you I'm sorry, but this will likely come far too late to stop what's about, if not already certain to happen in pursuit of some liberal utopia that frankly will never exist. But they will continue to ram down our throats, all in the name of climate change, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You see, while you have been distracted by 1,000 policies designed to steal your freedom every day from the left, they have drawn up a plan to literally steal the earth out from under your feet. And if you think I am exaggerating, I can assure you that I am not. This is the pursuit of the 15-minute cities on steroids, an expansion on the EV fantasy to make sure that they can destroy farming and ranching, make meat and food less available, as the globalists just outlined, by the way, over the weekend at the COP28 summit in Dubai, while they dined on smash burgers and filet mignon, and with cheeseburgers on their breath, they're ready to root out all of the self-sustaining people in America. You know, the ones they like to call right-wingers and racists, most likely people like you. So let me explain. You see, hidden inside Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act and Joe Biden's infrastructure bill were the beginnings of something much more sinister. And that is rethinking how all federal lands are managed in America and what they can, and more importantly, cannot be used for. You see, this past spring, the federal government, by way of the Department of the Interior, made major proposals to how the Bureau of Land Management is required to deal with land use, and this impacts hundreds of millions of acres right here in the United States. The land managed by the BLM includes ecosystems as diverse as red rock deserts, oceans of sagebrush, towering pine forests, expansive grasslands, and vast areas of the Rocky Mountains, just to name a few. And every single one of these places may be off limits to you and everyone soon and forever. Off limits forever.